Good morning, children. As you know, education is a very important part of our life. Here, in this poem, writer also described about the children, those who are deprived, those who are not getting the basic amenities in their life, like education. So, first of all, we will start. Here, it is written by the Stephen Splendor. So, I will give you the introduction of the poet. Then we will start the poem. Splendor Stephens Harold Splendor, his full name, and he was the poet, essayist, and novelist also. He was born in the 1909 and was died in 1995. He was the pioneer of a poetic movement in 1930s. Splendor took a keen interest in a social and a political problem of his time as a social reformer and the pacifist of his time. He questions the value of education and the moral ethics of the individual. The trails and the tribulation of the post-World War Europe find expressions in the Splendor's verse and poem. The book written by the Splendor was the poem of dedication, edge of being, a creative element, etc. This poem is just taken from the creative elements, and the writer described the theme of the poem is that the writer want to describe about the slum children, those who were residing in the slum area and they are not getting the justice and facing the class inequalities also. The poem portrays the picture of an elementary school in a slum area. In this poem, writer wants to describe about the injustice which is prevails in the society. He talks of the social injustice and the class equality and denying of the opportunities to the slum dwellers, and also express his thoughts on the widening gap between the rich and the poor. He wants to say that why the people, those who, the children, they have to get the full rights. They have a rights and they have to get all the facilities, whatever a rich person was avail. So he was fighting and he was continuously raise his voice for this thing only. The poem talks of the racial discrimination and is a socialist proclamation that a country can propose only if the education reaches to the downtrodden or in the society. Now I will start to explain the poem. First stanza. Far, far from gusty waves, these children faces like rootless weeds, the hair torn round their pallor. The tall girl with her weighted down head, the paper slimming boy with red eyes, the stunned, unlucky hire of twisted bones reciting a father's granite diseases. His lesson from his desk at back of the dim class, one unnoted, sweet and young. His eye life lives on in a dream of a squirrel game in tree room other than this. Here, writer wants to describe that first line he wants to say about that far, far from gusty waves, these children faces. So, in this poem, in this paragraph, in this stanza, poet describes about the face, the appearance of those children who was residing in the slum area, and the primary and basic facility they are not getting. So because of also that, they are just facing many problems. So he's a gusty waves means energetic and lively. So the writer wants to say that far, far from gusty waves, these children faces, their faces are not lively, their faces are not energetic. They are far from all that thing. Like rootless weed, the hair torn round their pallor. Rootless weeds means the thing that we unwanted by the society. Here it is used like that. And pallor means unhealthy or pale appearance. So writer wants to say like rootless weed. They are just like the thing which we doesn't want what we are doing, just we are throwing them out, we are not using them, it looks so bad, dirty like that. So these children are also like a rootless weed. And their hair tone around their pallor. Their pallor means pale face. Their face is no happiness, nothing is there. And they are not combing their hairs properly, so their face, the hairs come on the front of their face. A tall girl with her weighted down head. Weighted down head means it is used here for the two things. One is that she's suffering from malnutrition. Because of that, she's feeling sleepy here. And the second thing is the weighted down head means she was just weighted with the poverty. So that is why it is using here. So the tall girl, one of the girl who was just weighted down her head and sitting in the class. The paper slimming boy, paper with the red eyes. Here the writer is using the simile, the paper slimming boy, and in the right red's eyes, both in both the line. The paper slimming boy, the boy, those who are there, one of the last who was seated there, he was so skinny, so thin. So he compared with that. So it poetic device simile is used with red's eyes. Red's eyes means he was a very small eyes because he was not taking his diet properly. They are suffering from many diseases. That is why their eyes is so small. So writer compare here with his diseases with the rat's eyes. The stern unlucky hire. Stern means having been prevented from growing or for development. So the writer wants to say that the stern unlucky hire means they are growing, but nobody wants them to be grow. The people, those who are nearby them, those who are in the power, they want to be stop them their growth or to develop them. Of twisted bones, reciting the father's granite diseases and what they are getting from their father and from they are especially get the diseases in that thing. Means in the property of the father, what they are getting the diseases, not any property. His lessons from his desk at back of the dim class. So the children, those who are not energetic, they are very dull and down. They were seated backside and just watching. Nothing they are getting what the teacher is giving. At back of the dim class, at the dim class, already I show you the picture of the some class areas like this. It is very dim, no lights is there, no energy is there, nothing enthusiastic is there. So they were, it is very dim. One unnoted, sweet and young, his eyes live in a dream of the squirrel's game in the tree room other than this. So writer wants to describe that unnoted to whom nobody can notice. He was seated at the very behind of the classroom and watching what he was just thinking about the squirrel game and not thinking about the studies or all that thing.